The harsh clang of steel echoed through the dim corridor as Marcus Harlan was dragged forward. His wrists chafed raw against the cold restraints, but the pain was nothing compared to the weight settling in his chest. Above him, flickering lights cast long shadows on walls scarred by battles long past. Every step echoed a relentless reminder. He was a prisoner, condemned by a council that saw him as a mere specimen, an insignificant human tossed carelessly into their grand arena. The doors ahead slid open with a hiss, revealing the vast expanse of the Galactic Council's combat arena. Marcus blinked against the sudden flood of light. The arena was a brutal spectacle, an immense circular pit surrounded by tiers filled with an assortment of alien species. Their eyes gleamed with a mix of curiosity, amusement, and malice. Banners adorned with the insignias of countless worlds hung above, but none bore the Earth emblem. A deep, authoritative voice boomed from the overhead speakers. "Prisoner designated Harlan. You stand accused of inciting rebellion against the Galactic Council. Your sentence is to fight for your life in the arena." Marcus's heart hammered. Accused? Sentenced? Yet no trial. No chance to defend himself. The alien guards shoved him forward. The crowd erupted in a cacophony of jeers and alien cries. Many species towered over him, their features sharp, their muscles rippling beneath gleaming armor. To them, he was a curiosity, weak and expendable. "Look at this wretched thing," a towering reptilian muttered beside a cluster of spectators. "The Council's mercy? Or their entertainment?" Marcus clenched his jaw, searching his pockets until his fingers brushed the cold metal of his dog tag. He pulled it free, its worn surface engraved with his name, rank, and the Earth emblem. The dog tag had survived more than just battles. It was a silent witness to comrades lost, battles fought, and humanity's indomitable spirit. A ripple of murmurs spread through the crowd. Whispers of a human soldier, a warrior with a legacy. Even among disdain, respect flickered like a fragile flame. From the far side of the arena emerged his opponent, a hulking alien beast, twice Marcus's height. Scales shimmered under the arena lights, sharp claws scraping the ground. Its eyes burned with primal hunger. The gates clanged shut behind him. The arena floor shifted, revealing a patchwork of jagged rocks and traps designed to test more than brute strength. Marcus's senses sharpened instantly. This was no ordinary fight. Survival meant adapting to the environment as much as the opponent. "Keep your eyes open, human," a voice hissed beside him. Rex Thalzar stepped forward, an imposing figure clad in dark armor, eyes cold and mocking. "You stand no chance here." Marcus met Rex's gaze steadily. "I'm not here to win your approval." Rex laughed, a sound void of warmth. "You're here to die. Let's see how long you last." The beast lunged. Marcus dodged, rolling across the uneven ground. The creature's claws slammed where he had been moments before, sending shards of stone flying. His military training kicked in, movement, awareness, patience. He scanned the terrain, spotting a pressure plate concealed beneath debris. Timing was everything. Luring the beast closer, Marcus sprinted toward the trap, baiting the creature into striking. With a roar, it stepped on the plate. A volley of mechanical spikes erupted from the ground, impaling the beast's leg. It howled in pain, thrashing violently. Marcus seized the moment, driving his elbow into the creature's exposed side, then rolling away before a retaliatory swipe could land. The crowd's volume surged, some in shock, others in excitement. Rex's voice cut through the noise again. "Pitiful. Your tricks won't save you." Marcus's breath came steady despite the adrenaline. He tightened his grip on his dog tag and whispered under his breath, "Not just tricks. Strategy." The beast, wounded but not defeated, charged again. Marcus dodged and ran toward a narrow ledge at the arena's edge. Using momentum, he vaulted over the creature, landing behind it. The beast twisted, surprised by the maneuver. Suddenly, a sharp mechanical buzz filled the air. The arena's floor began to shift, panels sliding open, revealing new dangers, flamethrowers, energy nets, and razor-edged blades. "Welcome to the Council's true game," Brex sneered from the sidelines. Not just combat, but survival against impossible odds. Marcus's mind raced. This fight wasn't about brute force. It was about outthinking opponents and the environment. He glanced at the dog tag again, the name, Marcus Harlan, etched clearly. It wasn't just an identifier. It was a symbol of humanity's grit, of every soldier who had worn it before him. It reminded him why he fought, not for glory, but for survival and the hope that humanity was more than what the Council believed. The wounded beast roared and lunged one final time. Marcus sidestepped, using the creature's momentum to push it toward the energy nets. The beast crashed into them, immobilized and howling in rage. A sharp whistle pierced the arena. Guards rushed in, dragging the beast away. The crowd erupted, some cheering the human's cunning, others begrudgingly impressed. Rex's eyes burned with contempt. This is far from over-human. You've only survived the first trial. Marcus nodded, wiping sweat from his brow. The arena was no longer just a pit of death, it was a battlefield where he would prove humanity's worth. The dog tag gleamed under the lights, a silent vow. He would not just survive. He would endure. And the Galactic Council would remember the name Marcus Harlan. The scent of burnt ozone and alien sweat clung to the air as Marcus settled into the dim confines of a holding cell beneath the arena. The crowd's roar still echoed faintly through thick steel walls, a harsh reminder of the spectacle he'd just survived. But Marcus knew this was only the beginning. His fingers traced the edges of the dog tag hanging heavy around his neck, a token not just of identity but of every scar, every loss, every battle etched into his memory. The cold metal pressed against his skin was a tether to home, a symbol of the humanity that many here sought to dismiss. A sudden hiss interrupted his thoughts as the cell's door slid open. A slender figure stepped inside, a prisoner, but unlike the towering brutes Marcus had seen in the arena. This was Kale, a lithe alien with iridescent skin and eyes that shimmered like starlight. "You're the human they call Harlan," Kale said quietly, voice laced with curiosity rather than contempt. Marcus nodded. "Name's Marcus. And you?" "Kale. I fight for a chance to live, like you. But you carry something more. That tag, it's not just metal, is it?" Marcus swallowed hard. "It's the story of my people. Every soldier wears one. It's a reminder of who we are, and who we've lost." Kale studied the tag, then leaned closer. "You don't fight like most humans here. There's something in your eyes." Marcus met the gaze. "I fight because I have to. Because giving up isn't an option." The cell's narrow window cast slivers of light across Kale's face. "Many here see humans as weak, barely worth their contempt. But your spirit is different. It reminds me why I fight." Before Marcus could respond, the heavy footsteps of guards echoed outside. Kale stepped back, a fleeting smile crossing his lips. "Be ready. The next challenge will be worse." Marcus tightened his grip on his dog tag. He wasn't just a prisoner, he was a symbol now. A flicker of something dangerous, a hope the Council hadn't anticipated. Hours later, the arena's gates opened once more. This time, Marcus was led into a section unlike before. The terrain was a twisted labyrinth of sharp cliffs and narrow ledges, designed to trap and confuse. His opponent awaited him, a brutal, four-armed warrior known among the Council's ranks as Grather. Grather snarled, flexing his multiple limbs, each adorned with jagged blades. "Human, you survive by luck alone. Today your luck runs dry." Marcus squared his shoulders. "Luck favors the prepared." The fight erupted with savage intensity. Grather lunged, blades flashing. Marcus ducked beneath a sweeping strike, rolling forward and catching the warrior's wrist. With a sharp twist, he disarmed one arm and drove a knee into the creature's midsection. Pain exploded through Marcus's side, but he ignored it. The dog tag bounced against his chest with each movement, a steady reminder of his purpose. The labyrinth forced them into close quarters. Marcus's military training guided his every step, exploiting narrow ledges and broken pathways to limit Grather's advantage. During a brief pause, Grather hissed, "Why do you cling to that trinket? It won't save you." Marcus's gaze hardened. It's more than a trinket. It's every brother and sister who fought and died before me. It's a legacy you'll never understand. Gratha growled and charged again, but Marcus was ready. With a calculated leap, he triggered a hidden trap, spikes thrust upward from the ground, catching Gratha's foot. The warrior roared in fury as Marcus landed a decisive blow to the temple. The crowd, watching through crystal screens, murmured with surprise. A human outmaneuvering one of the Council's elite fighters? Back in his cell, Marcus's thoughts drifted to the Council's true intentions. He wasn't just a pawn, he was a message, to humans and aliens alike. The Council wanted to crush any hope of human ascendancy in the galaxy. His resolve steeled. If they believed humans were weak, they hadn't met Marcus Harlan. Another visitor came, this time, a shadowy figure cloaked in Council insignia. The official's eyes narrowed as they studied Marcus. You defy expectations, soldier. But don't mistake your survival for victory. Marcus's voice was calm but firm. Victory isn't just survival. It's standing when others expect you to fall. The official's lips curled into a thin smile. We shall see. The next challenge will test more than your strength. It will test your very humanity. The door closed behind the official, leaving Marcus alone with the weight of those words. As the next dawn approached, Marcus found himself not only fighting for his life but for the honor of a species dismissed as insignificant. The dog tag lay warm against his chest, a quiet beacon in the relentless darkness. He was no longer just a man trapped in the arena, he was the mark of humanity's resilience. And whatever the Council planned, Marcus would face it head-on. The underground corridors beneath the arena were a labyrinth of cold metal and whispered secrets. Marcus moved cautiously through the dim passageways, flanked by Kale and two others who had emerged from the shadows of captivity, Zara, a fierce warrior with luminescent skin marked by battle scars, and Rin, a silent sentinel with mechanical limbs that clicked softly as he walked. These were prisoners not bound merely by chains, but by a shared understanding, a common enemy lurking in the heart of the Galactic Council. Kale's voice broke the silence, low and urgent. We can't survive alone. The Council's traps are designed to break the spirit. But together, we stand a chance. Marcus nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. He wasn't just fighting for himself anymore. Each one of these allies carried their own burdens, their own stories of defiance. They needed a leader, someone who could turn despair into hope. Zara's eyes gleamed with determination. The arena's control systems are vulnerable. There's a maintenance tunnel near the east wing. If we can access it, we might disrupt the arena's defenses. Rin's mechanical voice was steady. Security patrols increase with every challenge. Stealth will be crucial. Marcus studied the map Kale had sketched from memory. The layout was treacherous, corridors twisting into hidden chambers, traps lurking behind every corner. But if they moved carefully, they could reach the heart of the arena's control systems, and send a message that would shake the Council to its core. Hours later, cloaked in shadows, the group slipped past sleeping guards and silent surveillance drones. Marcus's mind raced through contingency plans, every step a calculated risk. The dog tag around his neck felt heavier, not a burden, but a talisman of resilience. Suddenly, the harsh clang of metal echoed ahead. A patrol. They froze, pressing against the cold walls as towering guards passed by, their heavy boots leaving reverberations in the steel corridor. Hold your breath, Kale whispered. The moment stretched taut, then passed. Relief washed over the group, but Marcus knew the danger was far from over. At last, they reached the maintenance tunnel, a narrow passage lined with wires and flickering lights. Zara knelt by the control panel, fingers dancing over alien glyphs and buttons. Sparks flew as she bypassed security protocols, the system's defenses unraveling beneath her skilled touch. Got it, she whispered triumphantly. I'm opening access to the arena's environmental controls. Marcus's gaze hardened. What does that mean for the fighters? Kale answered grimly. We can manipulate the arena conditions, create distractions, disable traps, maybe even stall reinforcements. A plan took shape, one that could level the playing field and give the prisoners a fighting chance. Meanwhile, far above in the council's observation chamber, Rex Thalzar paced with growing fury. News of Marcus's survival and the whispers of an alliance among prisoners gnawed at his pride. They rallied behind that human. Rex spat, fists clenched. A mere pest-inspiring rebellion. I will crush them all. A holographic map flickered before him, showing the labyrinthine arena and its vulnerable points. Rex's cold eyes gleamed. Send reinforcements. Seal off the tunnels. No one escapes my wrath. Back in the tunnel, Marcus gathered his allies. We can't just survive this arena. We have to make them fear the human spirit. But to do that, we need unity, precision, and guts. Zara nodded. The prisoners are scattered, but many are willing to fight. If we coordinate, the arena becomes a battleground we control. Rin added. We must move fast. The council won't wait long to respond. Kale's voice was steady. The dog tag you carry, it's more than a symbol. It's a beacon. Others see it and remember their own strength. Marcus clenched his fist. Then let's give them a reason to believe. That night, whispers rippled through the prisoners' quarters. Marcus and his small band moved like shadows, spreading word of a rising resistance. Faces hardened with renewed hope as alliances formed across species and ranks. In a dim corner, Kale confided, I once thought the council's might was absolute. Now I see it's fragile, if we strike together. Marcus met his gaze resolute. The council underestimates what it means to be human. It's time they learn. The arena's next challenge arrived like a storm. Marcus was thrown into a vast open arena with jagged pillars and shifting sands, a place designed to isolate and overwhelm. Waiting was Rex himself, a dark silhouette against the glowing sky. Their eyes locked, predator and prey, challenger and champion. Rex sneered. Your rebellion ends here, human. Alone you fall. Marcus took a deep breath, fingers brushing his dog tag. Alone? No one fights alone anymore. With a sudden roar, the battle erupted. Pillars crumbled, dust clouds swirled, and the crowd's roar reached a fever pitch. Every move Marcus made was precise, dodging strikes, using the terrain to his advantage, calling out to unseen allies who sabotaged traps and distracted guards from the tunnels below. Rex's attacks grew desperate, his frustration evident. Marcus's endurance was relentless. As the fight climaxed, Marcus saw an opening. With a swift maneuver, he disarmed Rex, forcing him to the ground. The arena fell into stunned silence. Instead of delivering the final blow, Marcus extended a hand, eyes blazing with conviction. There's more to this than death and domination. Together, we can change the future. Rex hesitated, conflicted between pride and the truth in Marcus's words. In that moment, the arena's walls seemed to shift, not just a battlefield but a crucible of change. Marcus's dog tag glinted in the sunlight, a mark of defiance and hope. The rebellion had begun. The air in the arena was thick with anticipation, the crowd's murmur swelling into a restless roar as two figures stepped into the center, their shadows stretching long beneath the unforgiving artificial sun. Marcus Harlan faced Rex Thalzar, the elite enforcer of the Galactic Council, his rival and symbol of everything the Council sought to suppress. The moment was no longer just a contest of survival. It was a clash of wills, an epic struggle where the fate of humanity itself hung in the balance. Rex's armor gleamed with sinister intent, every inch designed to intimidate. His eyes, sharp and unyielding, locked onto Marcus's steady gaze. You've survived against all odds, human. But this is where your luck ends. Marcus adjusted the dog tag at his neck, its cold metal a steady anchor amid the chaos. Luck isn't a factor when you fight with purpose. The crowd's noise dimmed into a tense hush as the first movement shattered the silence. Rex lunged, his powerful arms swinging deadly blades with practiced precision. Marcus ducked low, muscles coiling like springs. Every instinct, every ounce of training sharpened to a razor's edge. The clash was brutal. Metal screamed against metal, sparks flying as blades met shields. Rex's strikes were relentless, a storm of fury meant to overwhelm. Marcus parried, dodged, and countered, his movements fluid yet calculated. He wasn't just fighting for himself, he fought with the memory of every human who had ever been underestimated, every comrade whose sacrifice fueled his resolve. "Your arrogance will be your downfall," Rex hissed, spinning to deliver a crushing blow. Marcus twisted, narrowly escaping. "And your pride blinds you." Their battle carved scars into the arena floor, each strike a message written in sweat and steel. Marcus's breathing remained controlled, his mind racing ahead, calculating, adapting. He noticed a subtle rhythm in Rex's attacks, a pattern beneath the rage. Exploiting a momentary opening, Marcus feinted left, then struck right, landing a precise blow that staggered Rex. The crowd gasped, disbelief rippling through the stands. Rex snarled, retreating to regain composure. "You fight well, human. But I will break you." Marcus wiped blood from a split lip, his gaze unwavering. "Breaking me won't break humanity." As the duel pressed on, a sudden flare erupted from the arena's edge, a distraction orchestrated by Marcus's allies hidden in the tunnels below. Alarms blared, lights flickered, and the environment shifted unpredictably. Rex cursed, momentarily thrown off balance. Marcus seized the opportunity, launching a series of swift strikes that forced Rex to the defensive. "You underestimate what it means to fight for something greater," Marcus said, voice rising over the chaos. Rex's eyes narrowed. "Your ideals are meaningless here." But Marcus's next move was decisive. With a deft maneuver, he disarmed Rex, sending his blade clattering across the ground. The crowd fell silent, watching the fallen warrior struggle to rise. Marcus stood over him, breathing heavily, heart pounding. Instead of delivering the final strike, he extended a hand. "There's strength and honor, even among enemies. Stand with me, fight for a future beyond this tyranny." Rex's chest heaved, eyes locked on Marcus's offering. Pride warred with something deeper, a grudging respect. Slowly he grasped the hand, pulling himself up. The arena erupted in stunned silence, then broke into roaring applause. The crowd was witnessing more than combat. They were witnessing a turning point. Suddenly, the observation deck speakers crackled. The council official's voice boomed, cold and uncompromising. "Captain Marcus Harlan, your defiance is intolerable. You are hereby sentenced to immediate execution." A murmur of shock swept the stands. Marcus met Rex's gaze, both understanding the gravity of the threat. "We knew this wouldn't end quietly," Marcus said, determination blazing. Rex nodded. "Then we fight together." As the guards prepared to move in, Marcus's allies surged from the shadows, a wave of resistance rising within the arena's heart. The rebellion had ignited, fueled by the human who refused to yield. Marcus's dog tag caught the light once more, a symbol not just of a soldier, but of hope. And the duel of honor had only just begun. The arena, once a place of isolated survival and brutal contests, now pulsed with the fierce energy of rebellion. Flames licked at the edges of the fractured walls, smoke curling upward to the vast observation decks where the Galactic Council's elite watched in stunned silence. Marcus Harlan stood at the center of the chaos, dog tag swinging lightly against his chest, a steady reminder of what he fought for, not just his life, but humanity's honor and future. Beside him, Rex Dalzar moved with calculated precision, no longer an adversary but an ally forged in the crucible of battle. Around them, a coalition of prisoners, aliens and humans alike, pressed forward, their unity a silent declaration of defiance. Marcus's voice cut through the roar. "This isn't just a fight for freedom. It's a message that no one can silence the spirit of those who refuse to bow." The Council's forces responded swiftly, deploying heavily armed guards into the arena's fractured terrain. The clash that followed was fierce and unforgiving. Metal met metal, blaster fire echoed through the corridors, and the very structure of the station trembled beneath the strain of battle. Marcus fought with relentless determination, every move a blend of tactical skill and raw resolve. When an enemy surged toward him, he deflected the attack, countering with a precise strike that incapacitated the assailant. His dog tag caught the flicker of emergency lights, a beacon in the turmoil. Amid the chaos, Zara coordinated efforts to sabotage the station's security systems. Marcus, we're close to overriding the controls. This could cripple their reinforcements. Marcus nodded, dodging a volley of plasma bolts. Do it. Every second counts. As the station's defenses faltered, the tide turned. Prisoners surged forward, reclaiming ground and pushing the Council's soldiers back. Rex shouted orders, his voice commanding and sharp, a stark contrast to his former role as oppressor. Amid the firefight, a voice echoed over the calm channels, the Council official who had sentenced Marcus. You may have won battles, Harlan, but the war is far from over. Surrender now, and you may find mercy. Marcus's response was unwavering. Mercy isn't given to those who fight for justice. It's earned. And we will earn it, together. The battle reached its crescendo as Marcus confronted the official in the control chamber. The man's arrogance was palpable, but Marcus's resolve was unshakable. You underestimated humanity, Marcus said, stepping forward. Our strength isn't just in muscle or weapons, it's in our will, our unity, our spirit. Today, that spirit breaks your chains. With a swift, decisive move, Marcus disabled the station's control interface. Alarms ceased, security locks disengaged, and the oppressive grip of the Council began to crumble. Outside, broadcasts hijacked by Marcus's allies played across the galaxy, images of rebellion, unity, and hope. The dog tag gleamed on screen, a symbol recognized by countless worlds as the mark of a warrior who refused to be forgotten. As the dust settled, Marcus stood on the observation platform, the horizon of stars stretching endlessly before him. The prisoners were free, the Council's dominance challenged, and humanity's place in the galaxy was no longer in question. Rex approached, nodding with a newfound respect. You changed everything, human. Marcus allowed himself a small smile. We changed everything, together. In the quiet aftermath, Marcus touched the dog tag gently. It was more than metal, it was legacy. A promise that humanity would endure, adapt, and rise, no matter the odds. The galaxy had seen the mark of the dog tag. And it would never forget.